Greetings from FORUM Institut for Management in Heidelberg. The FORUM Institute is a leading training provider with more than 40 years of experience in the educational sector and is launching this year new seminars on European structural and investment funds, or otherwise called ESI Funds. I am Viola Prifti, the conference manager of these seminars, and I'm here today for another talk on ESI Funds. And I have the pleasure to introduce you our next expert, Jo Kremers. Jo has been a senior auditor for the Ministry of Finance in the Netherlands. He's a certified financial auditor and IT auditor, has had a distinguished career spanning more than 3 decades, and is now working as a consultant and international lectures on anti-fraud. Hello, Jo. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Hello, good morning. Thank you for the invitation.
It's a pleasure, Jo, and I'm delighted to have you here because we've had fruitful working experience together in the last 2 years, and I've been very privileged to know your delightful wife, who is also, as far as I know, she also plays an important role in preparing the seminars, right?
Yes, indeed. And my regards coming from her to you.
Thank you. And before starting with the interview, I would just like to inform everybody that Jo is not just a lecturer and he's not just imparting knowledge. Jo has a passion for teaching the things that he knows. And he does that by creating atmosphere, a very entertaining atmosphere, a game atmosphere, where everybody can learn in a relaxed environment. And he takes examples from the everyday life. So everything is very specific, but it can also be very general because, as you know, from the specific cases, we can go to the general knowledge and vice versa. And I should say that the first time I saw him, I thought, oh my God, I should have done this when I was lecturing for my students, because I think it's a source of inspiration. It's as an example of successful teaching. So I'm really looking forward to our seminar in Heidelberg, and we hope it will be a success for everyone. So not just for organizing the seminars, but most importantly for those who will come and enjoy the seminar and interact with you, Jo. Let us start with the interview and with the first question. So how would you describe your work and engagement with EU funds, Jo? Like, how did you start working in this field?
Well, first, thank you very much for your warm words of introduction. That warms the heart. I've been working for many years as financial auditor, IT auditor, and fraud investigator in the private sector and in the public sector. Once I started as tax auditor for the Dutch Tax and Customs Administration. After that, I was financial auditor for several Dutch pension funds and also the national airports in the Netherlands. And at the end, before I stepped into the world of ESI Funds, I was auditor for the central government audit service of the Dutch Ministry of Finance. Well, that Ministry of Finance, and especially then the central government audit service, was selected in 2006 also to set up the audit authority function and a special unit focused on ESI funds in the Netherlands. And for me, really an honor and privilege to be invited to become one of the first audit managers in that new function of audit authority within that central government audit service. So after many years of auditing in public and private sector, I stepped over into ESI Funds, a totally new period in my professional audit career. And I must say, a great step. It colored really also my daily life and especially also my professional life as auditor in ESI Funds. And very important for me was I could make use of my expertise in financial and IT auditing, but also my experiences in fighting fraud and corruption, because I also had in the past many cases of that I had to investigate. So that was very valuable for me as input to become auditor then in ESI Funds. But there was something else very important regarding ESI Funds. Till that moment, I was also a lecturer for the Dutch Tax Academy. And after 2 years of being member of the audit authority in the Netherlands, I decided to step out of that life as lecturer for the Dutch Tax Academy. And I started lecturing in ESI Funds, financial management, financial control, audit, and especially also combating fraud and corruption. So that also gave extra color to my life because I like it to help people in ESI Funds, management control audit, and fighting fraud and corruption. Till the day of today, I love that job, and I hope also in the upcoming time it will give me that great input and to meet these experts to help them in this way as experts in ESI Funds. Thank you.
Thank you, Jo. So you've certainly had a very enriching experience as an auditor and especially as an EU funds auditor. What was one of the most significant experiences during these working years?
Well, I've been thinking about that related to that question, and there are, let me say, 3 very important and very significant experiences in ESI Funds. First of all, as responsible audit manager, I had to do with a very successful detection and correction of enormous cases of irregularities and suspected fraud and corruption in some very important and also very unique EU-funded projects in the Netherlands. And I was very successful, and also because of the help and the support and the energy of my auditors in my team, but it was also highly based on an enormous passion I have and a drive to fight fraud and corruption in general, but especially in ESI Funds. Why in ESI Funds? Why that drive and that passion? Because I have a certain motto and motivation in it. Because ESI Funds money is European taxpayers' money. We all pay a lot of taxes, and especially value-added tax. That is one of the most important sources for EU funds. Well, that taxpayers' money should be well invested in the future of our children and grandchildren. That's my motivation. That's my drive. So if somebody takes it illegally, irregular, etc., he has a hard one in me, because also that money should be well invested also in the future of my children and my grandchildren. That's the motivation, the motto I also would like to address, and I do it during all my games to all the experts during and to all the participants. That was the first one. The second one, that was really an honor. In 2019, I got an invitation from the European Commission to take part in a special team of experts to set up the European Commission's Anti-Fraud Knowledge Center. It was in the pandemic, so there were nearly any trainings, etc. But then I got that honor, that privilege to take part in that team of experts. Okay, it was online, working together and having meetings, etc. But that was really a great challenge for me and privilege to take part in it. And I must say, the result of it, that EC Anti-Fraud Knowledge Center, is just great. And it's always updated and updated. And I must say, the content, it really helps you. That was the second one. Then the third one, and not to forget, that has also to do with my games. Well, it was, and I don't know exactly what year it was. I came to the decision to step out of the traditional way of presenting my workshops, etc. What did happen? Why? When? Well, during a short holiday, together with my family in a resort, on one of the evenings in the resort, they were organizing a quiz. Well, my daughters and also my sons-in-law took part in that quiz. And they had some nice prizes, awards, etc., gifts. They were available for the winners of the quiz. Then and there, I saw the enormous enthusiasm and, let me say, the fighting spirit in my daughters and also my sons-in-law to win that quiz and those prizes. Well, based on what I saw and felt there, the idea arose to me to develop and to present my future lectures and workshops in the form of an interactive and multimedia-driven games. Yes, games like that quiz I saw. And I must say, games with special and unique awards to further stimulate the participants. And this idea it really works. Participants are really excited about it and they want to win the awards. And not to forget, there is something special in my games. And that creates also an enormous enthusiasm. These are very surprising, unique, and functional attributes, functional for all the topics in my games. And I make use of these attributes during the games in order to explain and to help participants to remember my messages and especially my recommendations to them in future. But that's not the only reason. There's a second reason as well, using these attributes also to create fun during the performances. Because another slogan during all my games, so important, a day without laughter is a day wasted. Laughing. It creates new energy, positive energy, drive, also in our daily life in fighting fraud and corruption. Well, to end this answer, and the most famous attribute I make use of already for several years, and this is already very, very famous in the EU, but now also outside the EU, it is this one. And for this, it's the famous chainsaw. I use it everywhere. And people remember exactly why I used it and how it is related to fighting fraud and corruption. Now, for 2024, I have selected already totally new ideas, attributes for my 2024 editions of my games. And I show you just one example. This is one of the newest examples of attributes I make use of in the 2024 editions of my games. If you would like to see more and hear about it and learn, please come to Heidelberg and see, learn, and innovate and enjoy the games so that you can have a lot of added value to improve and strengthen your fight against fraud and corruption. Thank you.
I'm curious about this new object, Jo.
It's an attribute so that people will remember, okay, he told us that, because then it helps us to be more successful in combating fraud and corruption. So I can't say everything what it is, because then the surprise is gone. That's so important also to show it to them in Heidelberg. It should be a surprise. And they go home and they exactly know, okay, he showed that to us. That was his message. That was his recommendation. And let us do it now on a daily basis to improve our anti-fraud cycle.
Thank you, Jo.
But it should be a surprise.
That's true. It will be a surprise also for me then.
So, okay, great. Sure.
But the fight against fraud, or let's say, to put in an affirmative way, the fight for correct operations, it's not an easy one, right? I'm sure that it has not been easy for you as well. And based on your experience, would you have any advice for those who start to work now in ESI Funds?
Well, let me tell, in general, it is very important also to innovate in our work, because the world is changing. If you look, for example, to IT, there are a lot of possibilities. We see a lot of projects also in that. And not to forget, more and more, we are subsidizing innovation. Innovation is totally new, is unique. That brings chances, but that brings also risks. And also these kind of projects, that innovation, and thank God we are doing that, because we should do it. That's also the use of European taxpayers' money. So that motto is still the same. whether the projects are changing, whether the goals are changing, whether we are talking about infrastructural projects or projects related to the Green Deal, like sustainability, resilience, etc., because that's important. Also, the future of our children and grandchildren. But don't forget, dear listeners, dear viewers, we are talking about taxpayers' money. That should be well invested in the future then of the children and my grandchildren. So, what I would like to give to you as recommendation, I have a certain passion and drive. We should invest in that future by these new kind of projects. But be aware of that. There are also fraudsters, they see enormous amounts of money that is really growing, also related to the Green Deal, etc., related to recovery and resilience. There's an enormous amount of money. So fraudsters will see that as well, and they try to get that as well. And fraudsters, believe me, the new also today and tomorrow, they are also innovating in their work to get the money in another way, in an easier way, or it doesn't matter what. So they invest, we together should invest as well. So also in control and in audit in general, but also the selection of operations, and especially related to fraud and corruption. Dear friends, and come down to Heidelberg to see it, we together should invest and also in our anti-fraud cycle. That should be updated, that should be improved, that should be strengthened by the use and the introduction of high-tech IT and innovation. So please innovate and invest in that as well. So thanks to also Forum Institute and to Veolia for bringing us together to do it together. And I will show to you real cases of fraud and corruption and how I tackle them with the newest innovative tools and techniques. And for that, till that moment, I wish you lots of success and a lot of passion in EU funds, in selection of operations, good control, verifications and audits, and of course, fighting fraud and corruption in it. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Jo. Do you have any further advice on how to use these funds well? Because, as you said, we need these audits because there's mismanagement of funds, if we can put it in these terms. Is there any advice or any suggestion?
My lesson learned from the past, also in general, and that's not only related to ESI funds. If we're talking about fraud and corruption, most of the time we were looking into the past. What happened? Why did it happen? What should we do to prevent it happens again? That should be done. But what I would like to say is we have to look more into the future. What is coming to us? What could be new fraud trends? So be prepared now already, not waiting till something occurs, something happens. So now already be prepared and focus on new trends like green procurement. That is something we should focus on. That's a new fraud trend in that. Greenwashing, it's already there, but now focus and define what to do about it and innovate in it. And especially in innovation, I think inherent risk of innovation is everyone wants to have it. There are people, they want to have those ideas. So be prepared and invest in your own innovation to prevent it. And if you can't prevent it, to detect it and correct it. That's my message.
Thank you, Jo. It was really interesting hearing to your suggestions, but above all, I still am curious about the new object and the new cases that you have prepared for the 24 edition of your game. So I'm looking forward to welcome you in Heidelberg. And don't be afraid of this weather. It was not like this yesterday. Today we had bad luck, if we can call it like that. So the spring starts in end of March, April, and we should have good weather at least one day, if it's not for the 2 days. And as you can see, there is a castle over there, but we cannot see it now because it's a bit covered. But I'm sure we will have also the opportunity to visit around the surroundings and learn about the anti-fraud trend in 2024.
That would be great. I'm looking forward to meet you, and also the FORUM Institute to meet you in beautiful Heidelberg. And for sure, the weather will be done great.
So thank you everybody for listening to us, and thank you again to Jo for his time and energy that he put in this interview. And I'm looking forward to welcoming everybody in Heidelberg for any questions, or if you want to join as a team and then you have special requests, do not hesitate to contact me. Thank you.